Today on Investigate TV Plus, poisonous particles in the atmosphere can leave some Americans gasping for air. We take an in-depth look at the unexpected areas where experts say it's getting worse.
You could breathe, but it doesn't do you any good. You get weak. You
can't catch your breath.
Right.
Plus, a mother's warning about children getting a hold of unsecured guns.
It only takes, a second for something to go wrong.
We reveal how she's working to protect kids across her state in her son's honor.
Then, Operation Ball Gown.
Oh my gosh.
Look at all the beading. It's gorgeous.
What inspired the mission to help military spouses find the dress of their dreams?
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus.
Wildfires are getting worse, both in numbers and intensity. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. As we see an increase in extreme fires, more Americans are encountering a tragic reality. In January 2025, wildfires broke out across the country's second most populated county, Los Angeles. Fueled by strong winds after just 3 days of burning, the Palisades and Eaton fires became two of the most destructive in California history.
The United States' most devastating fires are concentrated in the West, in states like California, Arizona, and New Mexico.
But the effects can reach thousands of miles away.
In 2023, smoke from the Western Canadian fires was on display for millions of people and triggered air quality alerts across the Northeast.
Those alerts are used to warn people about pollution.
And we found more and more Americans are breathing in unclean air. As of April 2024, more than 130 million people lived in places with polluted air, an increase of roughly 10% from the same time the year before. But experts say in many areas, poor air quality can be reversed.
Reporter Kristen Crowley takes a closer look at the shift in air pollution in the U.S. and explains why some areas have cleaner air than others.
And this is your rescue inhaler.
Richard Clapham didn't always have asthma,
It was probably 8 years.
but he's had it long enough to know when he's in trouble.
You could breathe, but it doesn't do you any good. You get weak.
You can't catch your breath.
Right.
And to know when he should avoid being outside.
Can you tell when the area is having a bad air quality day with your asthma?
Yes. I just walk out the door and I turn around and come right back in.
Air pollution has a direct impact on his condition. Something doctors say is true for many people with asthma and other breathing ailments. And for the roughly 28 million Americans living with asthma, that means where they live affects their health.
Every time it's a poor air quality, we always say it in our clinic. We're about to have a lot of people coming in.
Dr. Anna Meyer works at Colorado Allergy and Asthma Centers. While people may think the Denver area is prime for fresh mountain air, the region's been climbing the list of worst ozone-polluted cities over time. And while ozone high up in our atmosphere is good, ground-level ozone is not. It's the main ingredient in smog. Oil and gas production out west have seen a boom in recent years. That means more methane, which leads to greenhouse gas and higher ozone pollution. Dr. Meyer says that is all translating to more patients.
5% increase every year of the new patients that we're seeing.
Is that significant?
Very significant.
What does that tell you?
Allergic conditions, asthma, what we call atopic diseases, they're getting worse. And this isn't just something that we're seeing anecdotally in clinic. There are publications that actually prove this.
In the American Lung Association's 2024 State of the Air report, Denver ranks 6th for cities with the worst ozone pollution. For years, it wasn't even in the top 25.
The areas of the country that are suffering the most from air pollution have been shifting geographically.
Shifting from east to west. Catherine Pruitt is the lead author of the State of the Air report. She says regulations on factory emissions improved air quality east of the Mississippi, areas known for manufacturing and industrial work. But the west is struggling, and ozone pollution is just part of it. The American Lung Association says extreme heat, drought, and wildfires are contributing to a steady increase in deadly particle pollution, which includes irritants like smoke and dust. Wildfires led to the highest number ever of unhealthy and hazardous days out west for a total of 214.
We've spent 50 years rolling out stronger and better pollution control strategies, and those have worked. Tailpipe pollution is way down from individual cars. Smokestack pollution is way down.
But the greenhouse gases that she says are driving climate change are undoing some of that progress.
Is there a way to reverse this?
We certainly hope so.
New pollution protections, like stricter standards for emissions from coal-fired power plants and gas emissions from vehicles, are set to roll out over the next few years.
If we stay strong and leave those laws in place, help is on the way.
You've got some green areas there.
In the meantime, Dr. Meyer says those who want to breathe cleaner air can take matters into their own hands. The EPA offers free air quality tracking online.
And you can see kind of there's certain
Yeah,
spots.
so now the yellow means that's not as good.
Not as good.
Color-coded to let you know when the air is moderate to unhealthy, translating to when you should stay inside. Richard takes those ratings to heart and hopes we can start reversing the trends. His health depends on it.
Do you worry if the air quality got worse, that your asthma would get worse?
Yes,
So you're just kind of hoping.
it doesn't.
It's important to note that the number of air quality monitors has increased, so some of the uptick in numbers for pollution is because we've gotten better at identifying problem areas. Pruitt says that knowledge will help fight rising air pollution trends by targeting the problems causing them. Multiple states across the country also offer cameras where you can see the air quality on any given day. You can find those on our website, InvestigateTV.com. Just search air quality.
When it comes to battling pollution-producing wildfires, some solutions are already in the works. In Alaska, officials say these small black boxes could bring much-needed firefighting support in the form of early detection. The system is called Fire Spy and consists of sensors which are mounted on utility poles.
They're testing for temperature changes, humidity changes, looking for smoke in the air.
If fire conditions are detected, an automatic alert is sent to Anchorage Fire Dispatch, where firefighters can intervene before property or lives are lost.
We can prevent it from becoming a larger incident, which is really what we're after.
Still ahead, teachers quit the classroom and leave schools struggling to educate students.
A lot of the teachers were wanting to leave.
We take an in-depth look at a potential solution to teacher burnout already in hundreds of classrooms across the country.
Plus, hundreds of children are shot every year when they or a friend get a hold of an unsecured gun. We show you one mother's fight to keep young hands from dangerous weapons.
On average, it happens almost every day. A child gets a loaded gun and unintentionally shoots themselves or someone else.
According to the nonprofit Everytown Research, between January of 2015 and December of 2022, there were more than 2,800 unintentional shootings by children younger than 17, resulting in more than 1,000 deaths.
Experts, including researchers and the National Rifle Association, agree properly storing a gun can help stop these tragedies.
Yet more than half of firearm owners don't securely lock all of their guns.
After her son was unintentionally killed by a friend, a South Carolina mom now says no one was held accountable.
Reporter Grace Runkle shows us how she's honoring her son by trying to change state laws.
What you on your phone?
Yeah.
What you doing on your phone?
I'm playing the game. Roblox.
I just remember getting a phone call and, having to constantly, ask like, what, are you sure?
On October 16th, 2021, Samantha Dodson's life changed forever when her 4-year-old son, Kingston Barksdale, lost his.
He just had the biggest heart.
Kingston was at his father's house. Another child found a gun inside the home and pulled the trigger. The bullet hit Kingston in the chest.
They were trying to do everything they could, but they couldn't bring him back. And the room, I just remember the room getting very quiet, and it's still, to this day, it's unreal.
Investigators said Kingston's father was asleep in another room when the shooting happened. He was charged with neglect and pleaded guilty. He's now serving 2 years on home incarceration. Dodson says that's not enough.
I've been having to deal with grief on top of knowing I lost a child, and it's been no consequence. No one, no jail time, no consequence, because it's no law.
26 states have gun storage laws, but South Carolina is not one of them.
Someone needs to be held responsible.
Dodson teamed up with activist Bruce Wilson to author the Kingston Act. A person would be charged with a felony if a child used a gun unsupervised, resulting in death. The penalty, up to 30 years behind bars.
What we're saying is responsibility. Being responsible with a weapon when there are children around. Everyone should be willing to say that that is a smart thing to do.
The bill was introduced in February 2022. It's been sitting in committee ever since. According to the nonprofit Everytown, between October 2021 and November 2024, there have been at least 42 unintentional shootings by children in South Carolina. 15 people were injured and 13 were killed. In nearly every case, the victim was a child.
This is not an infrequent occurrence. This is happening quite a bit all across this nation. And so this is a public safety issue.
State Representative Wendell Jones says the consequences of not passing the law are clear.
Sadly, we'll be attending more funerals that could have been prevented.
Oh dear, said Mommy.
Dodson says guns being left around are on her mind every time Kingston's older brother goes to a friend's house.
I'm just afraid, it only takes, a second for something to go wrong.
She says passing the Kingston Act would keep him and every other child in South Carolina safe.
Since I couldn't save Kingston, if I can help save someone else's child, then I feel like I have fulfilled a purpose.
According to Everytown, 14 states have laws on the books like the one Dodson is hoping to pass in South Carolina, where gun owners are held accountable only if a child accesses an unsecured gun. Reporting in Greenville, South Carolina, I'm Grace Runkle.
Gun storage and child access laws vary from state to state. For example, in Oregon and Massachusetts, a gun must be properly stored if it's not in the owner's possession. States like North Carolina require proper storage only if a child is around. Still ahead, military wives give back to their sisters in service.
To see, like they said, the smiles on these ladies' faces.
We show you how they're bringing glitz and glamour to the armed forces.
Plus, a class act.
This is where leadership starts. It starts right here in this building.
We examine a new way to educate that's already helping some students with more than academic success. Our child's education can unlock their potential for success.
Yet the people tasked with educating our kids are leaving the profession.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates that each year between 2016 and 2026, on average, more than 270,000 teachers have left or will leave their jobs. It comes as 86% of schools across the country reported challenges hiring teachers for the 2023-2024 school year.
According to the Learning Policy Institute, high teacher turnover can undermine student achievement, particularly for children in underserved areas.
Some districts and states have worked to attract educators with higher pay, education pipelines for future teachers, and specialty recruiting programs. One of those programs is called Leader in Me.
According to its website, the program is a framework for K-12 education that aims to develop life skills in addition to academics. Leader in Me focuses first on giving educators the tools they can implement to help children take initiative to lead their own learning. Since it started in 1999, more than 5,000 schools across the globe have adopted the practice.
A school district in North Carolina started using the framework and now wants to expand after it saw success in just 1 year.
Reporter Mary King takes us to one of the classrooms for a look at the impact Leader in Me is having on students and their teachers.
Everybody say fish.
From kindergarten learners
Everybody say
to fifth grade thinkers.
If you think that that's beginning, put your thumb up.
They may seem like typical classrooms, but stay a moment.
Being a leader happens in those small moments.
And you'll hear lessons that are more than textbook.
This is where leadership starts. It starts right here in this building.
Fifth grade teacher Angela Hunter has been teaching for 29 years. She was set to retire before the start of the 2023 school year.
I was tired. Things were different in my building. A lot of the teachers were wanting to leave and wanted to move schools.
But Hunter decided to give new leadership and the school's new Leader in Me framework a chance.
She saw something in me that I knew that I could bring to the kids.
That she is Principal Kelly Withrow. Withrow led the implementation of Leader in Me in her first year at Battleground.
And it's based on 3 areas: academics, leadership, and culture. We try to boost that academic success at the same time making leaders out of the kids.
Hunter says as she weaved leadership habits into everyday lessons, she quickly noticed a difference.
Kids started to realize that what they do here makes a difference for the future.
Other teachers saw it and felt it too.
At first, I'm not saying I was skeptical, but I just didn't know the impact it could have in such a short amount of time. They seemed to have more self-esteem than they did. They seemed to have more incentive to do well.
The changes have rippled through the teaching staff.
So just looking at the data, the turnover rate from 2022 to 2023 was about 16%. This past year we had 3%. We had 2 teachers leave, and so that's a big celebration for our school.
A celebration that's personal for Hunter, who says her life plans have changed.
And I'm not ready to retire yet. I think I have so much to offer to my students and to the school.
And she can't wait to see what the students will have to offer the world.
It's going to make a difference. Hopefully 10 years from now, 20 years from now, these kids that are learning to be leaders right here, they learned it here, and they can take that into the community.
Prior to the 2023-24 school year, Battleground had been ranked as a low-performing school with a letter grade F from the state 4 years in a row.
As they wait for results at the end of this school year, some studies show Leader in Me can be a success.
In 2011, researchers at St. John's University surveyed 2 preschool classrooms, one with Leader in Me and one without. They found students in the program had a 34% overall increase in social and emotional behaviors.
A different 2019 study found discipline referrals at an Illinois elementary school dropped by 65% in the first 4 months of the program. Still ahead, a real-life Cinderella story for military spouses.
We want everybody to feel like they could be a fairy godmother.
Meet the women inspired to make them feel like a princess. For 100 years, military balls have brought servicemen and women together to honor the sacrifice of those before them and to build camaraderie in the armed forces. Each branch has its own ball with its own precise customs to honor the military's discipline. They're formal, black tie events where those in the service wear dress uniforms. For spouses, tuxedos and floor-length gowns are expected.
Formal wear can come with a hefty price tag, which is why 2 military spouses teamed up to start their own mission, Operation Free Ball Gown.
Reporter Lauren McCoy shows us how they're making dreams come true for spouses of those who serve.
The sparkle.
She's just beautiful and gold.
The glitz, the glam.
Pigeon Ross silk.
Oh my gosh.
Look at all the beading. It's gorgeous.
Military and carnival balls are rites of passage, traditions in the New Orleans area, and there's an organization that helps make sure women have a glamorous night.
By providing gowns and jewelry and shoes and purses, whatever it takes to make them look beautiful. Yes.
You know, there's so many other events besides
Yes.
Mardi Gras balls. They have change of commands, other military events. And so all of that, what you would think attire is needed.
Thousands of dresses pack these 4 walls in a building at the Joint Reserve Base in Belle Chase. How many dresses do we have in here?
Oh, good Lord. Well, if you want to count them.
Well, I'm guessing, if you count, I'm guessing over 3,000.
I'm over, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
we're
so
probably
too.
close to 4,000.
Thoughtfully sorted by size, color, and type.
So let's see what size you're on.
By these military spouses.
There was military spouses that banded together and started this, and we were lucky to be able to be with these ladies and in the very creation of Operation Free Ball Gown.
Kathy Callahan and Shar Winrick are co-chairs of Operation Free Ball Gown, an effort sponsored in part by the Military Officers' Wives Club of Greater New Orleans.
We want everybody to feel like they could be a fairy godmother.
We look at the dress, we tell them, you look gorgeous, but are you going to say yes to the dress? And then we have a little bell and they say yes to the dress and go ding ding.
For retired Navy military spouse LaDonna Delgado, she's already said yes to her dress.
One is comfortable. And it was just unexpected. It seemed like it had my name on it, so I picked it up.
In this blue, off-the-shoulder gown, Delgado says Operation Free Ball Gown does make a difference.
To see, like they said, the smiles on these ladies' faces, that just needed a dress, that might not attend one of the balls. And they got the dress, so now they're halfway there.
For nearly a decade, Kathy and Shar put in a lot of hard work and hours to keep this effort thriving.
Operation Free Ball Gown helps keep me going, and this lady right here is my dear co-chair. She helps me so much.
What a great initiative, because those gowns can be expensive, and if you don't have one, you may not be able to go.
And you, military spouse, you know firsthand, how many people need gowns like that for different events too, right?
Yeah, so we are grateful for what they are doing.
Definitely, very nice.
Well, that's it for us on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Thanks for watching.
On the next Investigate TV Plus.
She was only 14 years old when she was murdered.
A grieving mother fights for panic buttons in schools to help fortify security and save more students in an emergency.
While critics argue the problem might need more than technology-based solutions.